Hello everyone, and welcome to World of Warcraft. This is the first episode in a planned Let's Play, which is going to be taking a look at the game, its lore, and everything about it. This is the Pandaren starting area, the Wandering Isle, and we're going to be leveling this character, Sun Po, from level 1 to level 100, going through all of the story elements, plot points, and looking at some of the races, classes, and stories of the World of Warcraft. This is intended to be quite a long series, as we're going to be talking about a variety of different things, but to start off, we're just going to have a little bit of gameplay, and we're just going to look around. This is also a test for the new microphone, so if you're liking the sound of it, then please let me know in the comments, along with anything else in this video that you think you might want to talk to me about. Okay, so, Master Shang Zi, or Ji I think it is. First, you will need weapons suited to your talents. Retrieve a pair of daggers from one of the weapon racks below, bring them to me, and show me that you know how to hold them properly. Okay, I'm going to get these daggers just to show you what they look like, because I think they are pretty cool. Okay, we've got two daggers there. It's like Raphael's from Ninja Turtles, which is pretty bitchin'. However, we are going to be using something very different instead. We're going to be using heirlooms, which is going to help us level just a little bit faster. Now, these are the heirlooms that I've got in my collection that are also focused towards a row. I've only got 5, but I think they might help quite a little bit when it comes to us working through the storyline. So we're going to pick up a few of these. He's going to look a little bit silly to begin with, but we'll get some other gear to accommodate it eventually. So we're going to throw all this on. There we go. Oh. Make sure we're dual wielding, that'd be embarrassing. And I think for now we are going to hide the helm. I thought I had a cloak. Let's have a look, shall we, just quickly? Okay, well there is a cloak as well. It's not necessarily for rogues, but it does give me an extra 5% experience boost, so I do want to get a hold of that as well. That's a bit better. Okay, so
where you pass.
Now we're going to do some training, and we're going to learn how to use the beginning elements of the class. If you're going to start this game from scratch, I do suggest that you try out the Pandaren. I'm not sure with the free trial whether or not it works that way. You can play as most of the free races up to level 20, and I'm pretty sure the Pandaren are involved in that, and they probably have, right now, because it's the newest one, the best starting area for new players. If not, then you want to go for the Worgen or Goblin ones, which have some very unique twists as well. The other one's just a little bit archaic. As you can see, we're doing quite a lot of damage to these guys. Luckily, because of our aims, we're going to be able to walk through quite a lot of this stuff. Now, one of the things that we're going to be looking at, another aspect of this guide, I've got my proper title on. I don't like Jenkins too much, but I do like the Explorer. Sun Po the Explorer. One of the other things we're going to be looking at is roleplay. I'm currently playing on the Argent Dawn server, which is a role-playing server in Europe, and we're going to be talking about some of roleplay elements, how to roleplay certain races. Particularly, we're going to be looking at what sort of character we want Sun Po to be. So we're going to start from there. Now, the next thing we've got to do is head into this temple or training area. We're in the Shangzi training grounds right now, and we're going to fight 6 of these sparring trainees. Now, I remember in the original time I played through as a Pandaren, you couldn't have heirlooms on this area, and these guys are actually quite a pain in the ass to fight if you weren't playing as a monk. Luckily, because of our heirlooms, we can just sort of walk through these guys pretty easily. These heirlooms also mean we're going to be able to do some of the other tasks and things in the game with relative ease. We're going to be looking at PvP, we'll look at dungeons, we're going to look at maybe a few raids. We're going to look through some of the older areas just to see what they look like nowadays in comparison to when they were first released. So we're going to hand this quest in now. So we're starting to pick up some more gear. We'll buy some more bags when we get out into the world, or I might get some over from my main character. One of the other things I wanted to talk about is if you guys are interested, I can remove the heirlooms. One of the things I wanted to do with this Let's Play is make it as interactive as possible. So if you want me to talk about a certain thing, then just leave in the comments and I'll talk to you about it and we can work out something. I'll probably put it in regardless because I find most of this stuff interesting. Another thing we'll do is, sorry, I was just going to say right now we've snatched the flame out of our master's hand and we're taking it up here so we can burn a scroll. if you want to go to the heirlooms, take it with a slower pace, maybe go from the vantage of a completely new character, then fair enough, we can do that as well. But I only picked the heirlooms to start off with because I do want to get to the higher levels quite quickly. And this is more like a tour. We're going to look through every zone eventually, and we're just going to walk around and adventure through the world of Azeroth. Luckily, since the Cataclysm, the quests have been introduced some new story elements, which are quite interesting, and some of the zones have some great storylines.
It is good to see you.
Speaking of storylines, we are currently completely neutral. We are not allied to the Alliance or the Horde because we have not met them yet. But when we do make that choice, I am going to be going with the Alliance because I simply personally prefer that, and I also know quite a bit about their lore. The Horde lore is a little bit lost on me. But we're going to go with the Alliance for this time round. If I end up doing another one, or I could do another one conjoining with this one, where I do go through the Horde things as well. Maybe do a different class or something like that. So we're now going to fight this head of student. He launches around quite a lot, and he's a bit of a pain in the butt to fight, but we're going to take him out quite easily thanks to our heirlooms. He flies around a bit. We'll see if we stopped him before he could fly around anywhere, but he knocked us back a bit. And there's our master.
My time is passing, but your time approaches swiftly.
Actually, what we'll do is I'll just check and see. Interface, display, that's it. System. Graphics. We want that to be on Ultra. My computer can handle it, so let's give that a shot. I should be doing this outside the video, but hey-ho, there we go. That's actually a little bit juttery, I think. Okay, well, what we're going to do is we'll keep it on high for now. Or good? Was it good? Good was probably the best quality that we had there. Yeah, look at that, that's smoother. But I will put view distance as ultra and liquid detail ultra as well, because I do like those two things being like that. You're departing so soon. I'm envious of your prowess, Rogue. Good luck to you. Okay, thank you very much. One of the problems that this zone does end up having is that everyone started off playing a monk as a Pandaren, which was the new class that was introduced with this race. And the intro area is very much heavily focused towards monks and their lore, which means that if you're playing a different class, it's a little bit out of place, especially if you're playing something like a mage or a priest. That can be a little bit jarring. Okay, so we're now going to meet Merchant Lorvu. We're on the way to find Asa of the Tushu, which is one of the two planes of thought that the monk-like Pandaren have. That's another player there, the shaman.
Hello.
So Ace is currently meditating right now. So we're going to help this merchant with some stuff. Basically, there are some sprites that are messing around with their cargo, and they want us to take them down. So we're going to head over here. There we go. I do like the look of this zone though. One of my favourite expansions has been Mists of Pandaria, purely because of the amount of stuff that they put into the game. That as well, I love the Pandaren as a race, I love their lore, and I also think that this zones are some of the greatest design zones they've had since Wrath of the Lich King. I feel like Cataclysm looked nice, but it ended up not having the same flair that Wrath of the Lich King had. Probably because
I am out of rage.
Oh, okay. Probably more than anything, just because there were the expectations of Northrend just being an icy wasteland, and people were wondering what they were going to do in terms of design there. And the zones that ended up having such a variety, it ended up being really, really fun to play through. With Cataclysm, people had already been to Azeroth, so there wasn't much excitement in terms of what to do. So you ended up sort of, going to the same place that you've already been to, places that were familiar. Oldham was just basically another Tanaris, but with some more ruins and a more focused storyline, and way too many cutscenes. And then there's Twilight Highlands, which is basically just another Wrathy Highlands, basically in HD, and it's got some really cool story elements, but there are some other things that are a bit messy. And then you got to think, Deepholm was pretty interesting. I'll give it that. That was a pretty cool place. Okay, so we're going to hand these in now. We get one of the coolest capes I think I've ever seen. For me, sometimes simplicity is better than extravagance, and in this case, this cape just looks so good. I think it looks so vibrant, and it's so nice, especially when contrasted against the initial training outfit. We'll put that back on now. Oh, we've got some gloves there we should have put on there. And now we've got to go and defend Asa whilst she meditates and finds out what we're going to be doing. Oh, okay. Okay, so the goal here is to...
creatures at bay while I meditate. We'll soon have the answers we seek.
Oh, there you go. We're going to take these guys on. Luckily, because of her heirlooms again, they're just going to run into us and basically just going to take them down. So yeah. Now, a lot of people say that World of Warcraft is getting more and more difficult to get into, and to an extent, I do have to agree. How many points stacking on me or on? I'm not sure. I thought combo points stacked on the enemy, but oh, they carry over now. Oh, that's brilliant. They used to not be able to carry over. Okay, sorry. Just to quickly explain, rogues pull up combo points on enemies. You can't really see it. Oh, hang on, let me see if that'll work. So, okay, you see on this guy, I've got like a combo point there on his portrait, and now I've got 1 combo point stored. Originally, that would only stay on one person. When they died, you lost all of the combo points. But now the combo points are just built up, and then you can spend them on everyone, which is such a nice change, because that was a really stupid way of dealing with things. So we're just going to take out the rest of these guys. We're almost done. This bar's almost been filled up. So as I was saying, people have been talking about the fact that World of Warcraft is getting a little bit archaic now, which is making it more difficult to get into, but I'm going to have to disagree here. I think that although the game is a little bit old in terms of its combat system, something which people have been trying to move away from, especially recently, with the advent of more action-oriented RPGs, such as Guild Wars 2, another game that I'll be looking at soon, and WildStar, another game that I'll be looking at soon enough. I feel like World of Warcraft has the access that it still used to have, but it's just in a very different market. I don't think it's ever going to have the subscribers that it had around the time Cataclysm came out, which is, I think, was about 12 million, I think it peaked at. I think it might be about 12 million. It peaked at 12 million, and now down to 7 million. It lost 5 million in that time, and it's been a long and rough road. We've had subscribers going up and down with every expansion, pretty much every patch, basically. The most recent one was quite devastating. We went from 10 million subscribers when World of Draenor was released down to 7 million subscribers when they checked the subscriber count again 3 months later. Which shows really that World of Warcraft's got great staying power whilst you've got new content, but as soon as that's gone, you know, you sort of lose your impact. And that's the same with a lot of games, and a lot of games and publishers, especially at the moment, are trying to promise that they're going to deal monthly patches. WildStar released it initially with an idea that they were going to update the game every month, and that's now gone to 3 months, and I think it's now gone to 6 months. I can't remember. I think it's every 3 months or something like that. So like quarterly updates every year. Guild Wars 2 guaranteed to have a living story that would release every 2 weeks, and although that happened to an extent, they were in seasons and there were delays and breaks things. So really the updates came far and few between. And World of Warcraft obviously has an expansion every couple of years, I think it is. And one of the things that they're trying to fight with at the moment is the fact that they've got a massive drought when it comes to their content. They release a new expansion, this entire deluge of new content comes rushing into the game, and everyone adores it. You know, Draenor in particular, I think recently was a really fun experience, to the point where when I reached level 100, I was kind of a little bit bummed out that there wasn't more to do. But that content lasts about a month, and now that that month is over, people have been leaving the game because there's nothing to do, and they don't want to wait 3-4 months for the next patch to come out. And they know that because it's Blizzard, it's going to take a long time because they want perfection. You know? At least that's how I feel it's going anyway. Another problem is the way the game design has been going in recently. I mean, with garrisons in particular, they're really fun. But one issue they're having now is people are just hopping on, using their garrison, they're logging off again. People are calling it Facebook gaming, kind of like you check on your farm and Farmville, or whatever game it is you're playing, and then when you're done, you just log off and go back to whatever else you were doing somewhere else. And that's not really why you should be paying £10 a month, is it really? Okay, so I haven't really talked about what we're actually doing at the moment. I've just been going through the motions. We're currently collecting some wood, and we're trying to get a breeze from a air elemental. Basically, the fire spirit of this area has gone missing, and we're trying to find it so that we can bring peace to the area and sort out these monkeys, which are being a pain in the ass. I'm going to come back to these monkeys in a little bit, because these mobs are some of the most fucking irritating things I've ever come across. I mean, one of the main reasons I don't pick a horde a lot of the time when I'm going into Pandaria is because, Jesus Christ, you have to, like, actually work with them, and that is just horrific to me. I don't find them funny, I find them irritating, they climb on your back when you fight them, it's just, oh. Let's just not talk about that sort of stuff, because that is irritating. It's why I go for the Alliance a lot as well, because we get to go with the, oh god, the Jinzu, I think? The Jinzo? The fish people. Oh, shit. You can tell I haven't played this in a while, can you? Well, not through Pandaria, at least. There's the people that are just water speakers, and they're really cool. And honestly, I'd quite like them to be a race one day, because they are really bitchin'. And they're built on the Night Elf model, so it shouldn't be too difficult. But they're really cool, and I like working with them as an Alliance character, so there you go. Okay, we're going to go turn these quests in. What we're probably going to do is we're going to free the Fire Spirit, return him to the tower, and then next episode we'll start looking at some of the lore for the Wandering Isle and talking about that a little bit. Maybe discussing where that fits into our character and the greater world at large. And then, whilst we're going through the rest of the Wandering Isle, which is this entire map here, which is the starting zone, which will get us to about level 14 or level 15, introducing us to the Alliance, the Horde, all the lore with that. We're going to talk about the Pandaran lore in general, and then we're going to talk about the Alliance and the Horde before we pick our side. Okay, so we're handing these in. We've reached level 5. Have we got any spell? We've got Stealth. Okay, sweet. So now that we have Stealth, we can now pop into this separate mode, which means that we can sneak past enemies. Unfortunately, we don't have any sort of backstab yet, and we're going to see when that comes in. Ambush is the one that we have, which is our backstab before you specialise into a class, like a specialisation. We'll talk about that now, actually. Basically, when you hit level 10, you get to choose between 3 different trees, and these trees have different abilities and focuses. I'll pick a class like a Druid, for example, which has a much clearer system. So with a Druid, you can pick between 4 specialisations. The Guardian, which acts as a tank role in group situations and focuses on you shapeshifting into a bear. Restoration, which is a healing tree, which makes you focus into healing with both shapeshifting and nature powers, which is basically heal over time effects. You have the Feral, which is focused on turning into a cat or panther and dealing damage quickly with bleed effects and damage over time. Am I meant to be coming here? I haven't picked up a spell yet. Oh, what a stupid dick I am. Okay, well, we'll head back now then. So sorry, you got the Feral, which is a cat form, which helps you to deal damage like a rogue and acts as a damage over time sort of thing with bleeds and debilitating effects. And then you have Balance, which turns you into a Moonkin, which allows you to use sun and moon, so lunar and solar magic to deal damage, which is more like a spell casting. Specializations vary in difference depending on how you look at them. For example, the Rogue's doesn't have any healing or tanking capabilities. So they have 3 damage trees. Combat, Subtlety, and Assassination. We're probably going to be going on Assassination because we're going to be rocking the dual daggers, and I'd quite like Sunpo to be something along that lines. And I think it helps when you're trying to roleplay a character as well, to play the character like you would have the character interact with the world, if that makes sense. So if Sunpo is going to be a backstabbing, you know, dagger fiend who's going to be like swinging around all over the place with dual daggers, slicing everything apart, I want him to use dual daggers, and Assassination is the tree that focuses on that. So Assassination deals with instant damage, Subtlety is more focused on stealth and avoiding your enemy, and Combat is focused on just standing in front of them, more like a swashbuckler from EverQuest. Okay, so now we actually have the quest that we're meant to have. We're going to start heading up here. Now this cave is supposedly where the Fire Spirit is meant to be hiding. Now we'll tell if it's changed, because there you go, look, now we know where the Fire Spirit's here now because there's fire erupting from the floor. So we're just going to avoid that. Unfortunately, my panda's quite fat, so we're going to end up walking into quite a few of those fire balloons. Now the next thing we've got to do is a test against Master Li Fei, which is a little more like a test for the initial starting zone for the Pandaren. It's like a big fight where you just have to like hold your own against this spirit. We have to light this brazier, this torch, and then we have to light all 3 of these braziers. The blue one, the red flame, and the violet one. So, Master Li Fei, it's time to fight. Luckily, we're going to deal so much damage, it's not going to be too difficult to fight him. Hopefully. So, what we do. So, he has special moves that he's going to use on us. But we're dealing so much damage, so he's doing Feats of Fury here, and he's going to launch a Shadow Step and kick us down. Luckily, we're building up enough combo points that we're going to be able to like just destroy them with one single hit. So now we're going to use our combo point spender and deal 730 damage, which is nuts. Okay, so we've done that. Now we can go and find the Spirit of Fire. So the Spirit of Fire has been weakened, apparently. He's the Ancient Spirit of Fire. He's Huo. He's level 85. And we're going to reignite him by fanning him and throwing lumber into his fire. So we're throwing lumber there. More lumber there. 3. Blowing some wind. Blowing some more wind. Blowing some more wind. Wind, 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 wind. There you go. So now we hand our quest in to Huo, who's been reignited. And now he follows us to the Temple of the Five Dawns, which is the main building in the center of the zone. Now, Huo, because he's so excited to get back to the temple, has given us a faster movement speed buff, which means we're going to move a little bit faster. Now we're heading up here, which is called the Temple of the Five Dawns, which is the main place we're going to be going to for the majority of our journey through the Wandering Isle. It counts as a home base, and there's a lot of stuff that we're going to be using there. We're also going to be looking at crafting in this Let's Play. I'm not really a big fan of it, but we're going to have a look anyway. We're probably going to go into leatherworking or something like that. So here we can see some more of the architectural design for Pandaria. I do love the way this zone works. It looks really fantastic. People are happy that Huo is back. So I'm just going to zoom out a bit, just so that you can all see what this place looks like. Now that looks really nice, you know. World of Warcraft's art style has always been endeared to me, and I do think it is one of the better looking MMOs on the market. Because it's not realistic, it can hold its age, and they also have a style which I think makes the game look really nice. Up we trot. This all looks really cool. And then we're going to return the spirit and talk to our master. Sunpo, you've done very well. Huo, the Spirit of Fire, is here. The temple flames have reignited. You accomplished the challenge I put before you, and with seeming ease. There is a greater purpose in bringing Huo to the temple. It is time to tell you more of the things to come.
You have conquered every challenge I put before you. You have found Huo and brought him safely to the temple. There is a much larger problem we face now, my students. Shenzin Su is in pain. If we do not act, the very land on which we stand could die, and all of us with it. We need to speak to Shenzin Su and discover how to heal it. And to do that, we need the 4 elemental spirits returned. Huo was the first. Gee, I would like you to go to the Dailo farmstead in search of Wu Gao, the spirit of Earth.
On it!
Asa, I want you to go to the singing pools to find Shu, the spirit of water.
Yes, Master.
And you shall be the hand that guides us all. Speak with me for a moment before you join Asa at the singing pools to the east. Where you pass,
It is crucial that we bring all of the 3 remaining spirits back safely. I am too old to do this myself, and for all their strengths, both Isa and Ji are single-minded in their ideals. You possess all the qualities of a hero, and a balance that they do not. It is you they must do this. Shu, the spirit of water, is somewhere in the singing pools to the east. Find Asa there and work with her to locate him. We are all depending on you. Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys, watching the first episode of this World of Warcraft lore and gameplay Let's Play. Next episode, we're going to be heading down these steps to the singing pools. These kids are going to say, oh my god, look, the person who brought out the fire spirit. We're going to be heading down here, we're going to be looking at crafting, and then we're going to be talking a little bit more about the lore of the Wandering Isle, the giant turtle, Shenzin Su. So thank you very much for watching, guys. It's been a pleasure to talk to you, and I will see you next time.